Hey 5202. I know it's another week of student presentations, but I wanted to record a quick video to say hello to you all. Hi. Hello. Salut. Bonjour. And I also wanted to introduce you all to our new TA, Helga. I know you haven't seen the smiling face in weeks, so I wanted to assure you all that I'm still here. I'm just lurking in the shadows of Brightspace while your classmates do their presentations. I hope you're all enjoying the student presentations because I sure am. As of recording this, we have covered reflective learning, experiential learning, PBL, games and creativity, role play, and mentoring and coaching. And of course, e-learning when I decide to kick off the assignments. And this week we're learning about lectures and narratives and storytelling, and we still have simulation to look forward to this semester. As a class, we've been engaging in a variety of different activities to experience and become more familiar with these different teaching strategies. So, for example, we've made mnemonics, we've engaged in reflective practice, used PBL to plan a wellness center, made memes and a word cloud, analyzed examples of role play, and reflected on mentorship and our own teaching and learning. And this week, you're going to be writing your own short narratives yourself, and the lectures group is going to have you up and away from your computer screens for part of their activity. Our classmates have also put together some really neat handouts that completely exceeded my expectations when I was writing the syllabus. So well done, everyone. I've started receiving some emails about the final assignment, so I thought it might be good to touch on that this week. The final assignment is a summary paper, which is for 35% of your mark and is due on April 4th. The purpose of this assignment is to provide you with a practical summary of a teaching strategy you may want to use in your own professional or educational context. So for this assignment, I would hope that you would pick a teaching strategy that you're likely to use in the future. Now, there are a few different ways you can approach this assignment, both from a content and from a format perspective. For format, the default option, if you will, is an 8 to 10 page paper. And there are a couple examples of previous papers from this class on Brightspace in the assignments folder. So if you want to see how previous students have approached this assignment, you can do so. However, as I mentioned in the syllabus, other formats are possible for this assignment, such as, but not necessarily limited to, a website, a series of blog posts, YouTube videos, and perhaps other ideas that you may have come up with that I haven't even considered. For traditional papers, the intended audience realistically is usually the prof who's marking the paper, in this case me. However, with an alternative format, you get to pick your intended audience. For example, you may choose to target other educators, clinicians, residents, students, patients. It's really up to you. Another aspect of the assignment where there's some flexibility is the actual content of your assignment. So in the syllabus, I outline 3 major assignment components: a summary of the teaching strategy, a discussion about the application of this teaching strategy to your own professional or educational context, and this includes any potential problems you may foresee, and then a description of an actual concrete lesson or learning experience where you could use this teaching strategy in your professional or educational context. Now, this description doesn't have to be lengthy, it doesn't have to be perfect, you don't have to have a full lesson plan. However, I just want to see some link between the context that you've described and how you think you could use this teaching strategy. Now, where the major flexibility in this assignment comes in is this last component: use in a learning experience. If you have a real learning experience where you would like to use this teaching strategy and you'd like to develop it for this assignment, I say go for it. The more practical we can make this for you folks, the better. Now, I still need to see elements of the other 2 components, but we can negotiate what this would look like together. So for example, you may want to plan out a simulation for your workplace, or maybe you want to create a website about reflection for nursing students. If you're interested in doing an alternative format or changing up the content a bit, please email me ahead of time. This way we can make sure you're still fulfilling course requirements, and we can also negotiate how I'm going to evaluate your assignment. And before ending this, I want to quickly touch on our last few modules. You know, the ones where you're back to seeing this face every week. In the last 3 weeks, we're going to be discussing interprofessional education, space and place, and feedback and debriefing. Now, I haven't finalized my lectures for these weeks yet, and so there's still some time for me to change this around and my planned activities. So if you have any burning questions about these topics, whether they be questions specifically for me or questions you maybe want to discuss as a group, please email me over the next few weeks. And that's all for now, folks. Helga and I hope that wherever you are, you're keeping warm. And for those of you out in Vancouver, please don't send me emails about how flowers are already starting to bloom. I get enough of those taunts from my brother. So enjoy this week's activities, and as always, I will see you all online.